The familiar story of Martha and Mary, two versions of discipleship. We have Martha, the dynamo. She knows what needs to be done, and she jumps right in and grabs the bull by the horns. She got dinner ready for who knows how many people. She made sure there were enough clean dishes. She was probably worried about keeping everything warm until it was time to eat. All very good things to do, all focused on serving others. But who was she following? Who was she depending on? Who was she relying on for guidance? It was herself. She wanted things a certain way, and she was trying to make it happen. Again, all the things that she was doing were good, but her focus was on the many things and not the one thing. Mary, of course, chose the better part. She sat at the feet of the Lord, listening, learning, being guided, and growing. She realized that she needed time with Jesus, and that whatever she had to do would follow. As I read this gospel, I realized that I lived my very own Martha and Mary story about a month ago. There have been some challenges I've been dealing with, and I've been looking for a path forward. I've talked to people that I thought could help. I complained to anyone that would listen. And I turned back to an excellent book on discernment, Timothy Gallagher's Discerning the Will of God. One thing I learned from this book is that in discernment, you rarely get certainty. What you're striving for is clarity. Over the course of months, I felt that I came to see the situation clearly, and I made a decision to move forward on a certain path. How very Martha of me. The day I made that decision, I got an email about a priest and deacon conference that was being held the following week at Franciscan University. So I decided I could wait a week before moving forward and just sit at the feet of the Lord. What a week I had. I figured God would talk to me through various presentations, so I took a lot of notes. I thought that by the end of the conference, it would all fit together and affirm my decision. I can remember the last night before the conference ended. I was praying before the San Damiano cross, and I asked God to tell me what he wanted of me. Immediately, I had the distinct feeling that he said, I did. To me, it meant that the answer was somewhere in those notes I had taken. The next day, at the recessional hymn of the closing Mass for the entire conference, in front of that same San Damiano cross, I got this feeling that God was telling me what he wanted, and it wasn't the path that I had decided on. I was practically in tears saying, but I don't want that. Meanwhile, the music ministry played the song, Yes, I Will. Talk about heavy-handed. I bring up my story because often when we hear this gospel, we think we have to make a choice between being a Martha or a Mary. We actually need to recognize that that's not the case. We need to be both a Martha and a Mary. I had to put in all the work of discernment to see things clearly, but I also needed to spend time away with the Lord to find out where he wanted me. And that's something that we all need to do, to sit at the feet of our Lord, to be refreshed, renewed, and given direction. But how do we do that in a world that demands us to be in continuous Martha mode? Take the kids to soccer, run to the grocery store, cut the grass, wash clothes, make dinner. It seems like our to-do list never ends. While our responsibilities are important, we still need to figure out how to make time to be with the Lord. Obviously, attending Mass is a good thing. Setting aside time for daily prayer is also necessary. Maybe reading some spiritual books, or attending a program on our faith, or taking advantage of the many opportunities online. One thing I'm going to offer is an occasional Eucharistic adoration evening. It's something that I need as I begin to move down the path God has called to me. But hopefully it's also something that will help you to spend more time with the Lord. The first time will be this Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. It's not in the bulletin, so you'll need to remember it. But if you aren't able to do that, our friends at St. John Bosco have an adoration chapel that's open all day. And the Poor Clares on Rocky River Drive, they also have an adoration chapel that's open all day. My brothers and sisters, discipleship is more than just being with God. Discipleship is more than just doing God's work. We must take time to be with the Lord, and we must let our work flow from that time. We must choose to be both a Martha and a Mary.